Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. So in the last episode, we entered Emi's route. So we finally got out of the common route. We're finally into one of the 5 routes. We're pursuing one of the 5 female characters in this visual novel. So I mean, this happened pretty fast. I was like really blown away. I didn't think it'd take us 12 episodes just to get into this. Maybe it would have taken us a little longer if we, made a different decision when we were racing against Emi. Maybe we would have gotten onto a completely different track, and maybe it would have taken us another episode or so to get off of the common route into another route. I really don't know, but it is apparently because of the choice to race against Emi that we are here now, which I'm fine with. Excuse me. I'm totally fine with this. This is totally an alright choice. Emi seems like an interesting character, and it's her and Rin that we don't know too much about, or I feel like we really don't. Rin we really don't know much about, and I feel like we won't know much about her for the rest of this, but Emi, I feel like we'll finally get to know a little bit more about her. Maybe what happened with her legs. Maybe. I mean, I am a little curious, what happened to everyone, but who knows if we'll find out, what exactly happened. A hazy memory of running a mile for gym class surfaces in my mind. By the way, we're running right now. We're doing our morning run. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Emi sets a pretty good pace, and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. We round the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. That tends to happen whenever you exercise. And by the second curve, I've started to breathe through my mouth. Emi doesn't seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you doing okay, Hisao? Never better. Oh, really? Maybe I should speed up then, huh? No, wouldn't want you to exert yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes the statement less convincing than I already hoped. Emi simply smiles and turns around again. Really should stop doing that. Like, that does take the breath out of me. You are the boss, Hisao. We'll stay at this pace. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also awash in my own sweat. Gross. That also tends to happen when you run for a period of time, or exercise for a period of time. We round the curve to start our 4th lap, the final lap, I believe, and Emi looks back at me with a grin. Here we go. She takes off at blinding speed, while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already rounding the second. As I struggle across the backstretch, Emi continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Hisao, you can do it. Wow. I feel stronger all of a sudden. I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my leg muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Emi keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. Fuck. It seems she wears a black sports bra. Ignore that. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. Not bad for a first effort, Hisao. Kind of you to say so. Emi seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. It must have been the sprint that she did. Hey, I've got to get a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out, and we'll be all done, okay? Sounds great. Yeah, back in cross country, that's what we would do. After the main run in practice, we do a little bit of walking, then stretch to end the day. Because you don't want to just run and then like, all right, I'm done. No more of this. You wanna, you know, finish off nice and easy. You don't want to just go straight to, you know, sitting down or anything like that. No, no, no. You never do that. My legs are on fire, and my breathing is still heavy. But surprisingly, my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath. That is also a awesome tip. I love that. Honestly, that shit is great. And then you hold in, like, you breathe in, you hold it there for a few seconds, and then you bring your arms down. You stretch them out downward, and you just slowly breathe out. It's like a fucking waterfall, man. Surprisingly, she's right. I began to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. Yikes. There's a blur as Emmy sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's on prosthetics, though that is interesting. Oh shit. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her and the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Emmy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap around with me? I've got to cool down too, you know. Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Exactly. Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Because you can cramp up and all that. Emmy's got her hands behind her head as well, which makes her seem very relaxed. And the positioning of her arms also pulls her shirt upwards ever so slightly, so I can... Why is this being, like, you know, a thing now? Just that perv of us is coming out, so that I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act the gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. So how do you feel, Hisao? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow throughout my body that persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, it has something to do with adrenaline. Emmy thinks for a moment as we walk, trying to remember. And then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't think I've ever had, like, a runner's high. I thought that was a myth, but you really never know. I mean, I've improved, and I've always gotten better, and I've felt good after a run, but I don't know if that was just the accomplishment or what. But when you're coming to the end of a run, it's always nice to sprint to the end. I don't know where that fucking energy comes from, because at the end of it, I'm absolutely drained. But you sprint to the finish. And I remember one time when I was in a race, I actually did that, and I actually beat some guy. It was incredible, and I shook his hand. I don't know why I'm telling this story, but I feel like I can relate. Alright. I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling, though, isn't it? Better than sex, right? Yeah. I opened my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she just said. Emmy watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? Emmy just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no! We'd better get a move on, Hisao. Class is in an hour, and I need a shower. Well, I love rhyming. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse, too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Emmy points to her prosthetics, as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from sweat or friction or anything. Normally, I only go after practice, but if we're going to be doing these morning runs, then I guess I'll see him twice a day. Wait, so Emmy has only started doing these runs since I showed up? If it's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time... Don't be silly. I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know? So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. We'll both need the exercise, so it all works out, don't you think? Yeah, perfect. Did it have to be me, though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emmy's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right. I do need the exercise. Doctor's orders, even. Emmy waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch! You know, the meal in the middle of the day. Come have it with us. Where? The rooftop. Rin likes it up there. When? Lunchtime. When else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of felt the need to ask all three for completeness' sake. Emmy laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Hisao. See ya. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. Oh, I hope we don't run into you-know-who in here. I managed to warm the water a bit and spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart, surprisingly, feels the least bothered by the run. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel like a bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I'm out of shape if my heart were bothering me. Guess I'll have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Emmy won't let me hear the end of it. And it's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize that I've only got 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. That's not the word I'd use. I'd use something a little harsher. The hands on the clock finally set me free from the tendium, whatever the fuck, of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing these with Emmy isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's given me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. Wow. All right. My parents, my bad, saw fit to provide me with some prepackaged stuff when I moved in, and a good thing too. Now, the hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream. But I've got an appointment to keep up on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emmy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Emmy among the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. That's a squeaky-ass door. I step out of the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost make my legs hurt less. Oh, it's Rin. Maybe if I'm upside down... Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha! That caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. Alright. As Rin lays down on the bench to look up at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Emmy chooses that moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Emmy's comment, she doesn't show it. Emmy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another, or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a cat fight. Whew. The two girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey Emmy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Emmy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey, Hisao, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Hisao, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet? Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if I just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all. That's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes, Emmy. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been conned, or conned, my bad. But not by these two. More like some outside force, pushing me irrevocably towards my destiny. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily. Otherwise, I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot? Well, you won't forget to come, though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on a calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know. Unless time changes its course. It can do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emmy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do. Do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets the feeling, or gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it though. Emmy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time, it's Emmy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Emmy's smile seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just that your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Well, that's alright then. I don't get the chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Emmy jumps up, a look of panic on her face. Oh no, I need to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Emmy ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, Hisao, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run. Sure, no problem. Emmy darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. Man, I'm always watching the time. Like, at college, I don't like to carry all my shit with me, so I leave some of it in my car. And so then I watch the time between my classes to make sure I have the time to, you know, go and exchange my shit. Usually I do it, like, as soon as I'm out of class, I go and do it so then I can just chill for the rest of my break. But sometimes I'm lazy, and my laziness just really screws me over in the end. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. She's probably used to Emmy taking care of cleanup, And for some reason, I doubt Emmy's ever raised the issue with her. Cleaning up from lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss out our garbage and get to class. Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. Didn't see you in the cafeteria, Hee-chan. Yeah, I decided it was too crowded there. Misha's grin gets even wider. Oh, really? Are you sure you weren't participating in a illicit rendezvous? What? What are you talking about? You were on the roof, right? With both Rin and Emmy, no less. You Casanova, you. We just had lunch, that's all. Misha bursts into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. Wahaha! You're so adorable when you blush like that, Hee-chan. Oh, and so it begins. She gives a conspirational wink. Or conspiratal. Whatever. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong both times, but I feel like I was close the second time. Just go easy on me if I have these little hiccups, alright? Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. There's no secret. Oh? Misha seems disappointed and then brightens up again. Time will tell. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but blessedly our teacher comes in and the class starts. You know, I think Misha is one of the main characters. I remember seeing her a part of the main character list. But I don't think you could ever romance her. Unless you could probably do something along those lines in Shizune's route. But it's pretty much like Shizune going through her. And that's all Misha's really useful for. So I guess that was kind of nice to have like a little conversation with her there. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. That's pretty tough. I'm pretty sure that counts as a miracle. My legs seem unwilling to stand up for a moment. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down the hallway and make my way to my room. I sit down and half-heartedly chip away at my homework for a while, feeling like a vulture picking at a particularly unsavory carcass. It knows this is what it eats, but it's not sure that it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. I don't think I can take this, but it's important to get my work done. Now let's see, what was I supposed to be looking over again? I know it's a losing battle, but I will fight anyway. Halfway through my math homework, I put my pencil down. This isn't working. I need a distraction. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to read right now. Kenji is unusually out of his room at the moment. If I go to the student council room, I'll just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone else is, except for... well, I suppose that's an option. I grab my shoes and head for the track. Emmy's probably down there. I see we're going to be getting some more running in. Track practice is just ending as I arrive at the track. The sun's beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really gotten that late already? What are you doing down here, Hisao? Come to spy on me, have you? I give a shrug. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figured that's about right. At least we're being honest, right? Right? At the moment, Emmy's the only person I can think of who I could visit. So I'm your last resort, am I? Nobody cool around, so I'll just go see Emmy, is that what you thought? She actually looks angry. A chance for some teasing of my own presents itself? Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Emmy pouts, widening her eyes to give the maximum amount of puppy-dog resemblance. Kidding. I was kidding. So you are down here to stalk me. Wait, what? That's not what I meant. Why would I stalk you anyway? It's not like you require stalking. If you're not asleep or in class, you're down here, right? Emmy laughs at this comment. Well, you're not all wrong, I suppose. But you forgot about eating. I do that too, you know. I nod, conceding the point. Plus, I hang out with Rin sometimes too, so really I might take some effort to stalk. What do you do two together anyway? You don't seem to have a lot in common. She puts her hands on her hips and assumes a superior air. That's what you think. I've got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know. Oh, really? Like what? Emmy puts her head to one side as if she's trying to remember what it is she does in her free time. Well, Rin and I go out shopping sometimes. I guess that makes sense. Emmy's a girl after all, but Rin? Rin comes with you? We usually swing by the art supply store. Plus, she likes this music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She says it helps her focus. Damn, dude. I love to listen to the clanging of metal while I do my shit. Whether it be homework or gaming or whatever, if you're just clanging like spoons together or some shit like that, man, that's all I need. And that makes a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Emmy wags a finger at me. Now, why would I go and reveal all my dark secrets to you? We hardly know one another. Somehow I think that's all that Emmy has in the way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question's been answered. Even if you do have a few hobbies, I still don't see why you hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kind of weird, isn't she? This comment causes Emmy to laugh loudly. Ha! That's an understatement of the year. So why? I mean, you're a lot better at conversation and stuff, so I figured you'd hang out with a lot of people, but I think I've only seen you with Rin. Emmy seems unusually defensive. Hey, I hang out with plenty of people that aren't Rin. You just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your classes. Okay, but that still doesn't explain why you hang out with Rin. I'm not sure why I want to know this. I guess it is because lunch was so strange. Emmy shrugs, looking for a moment very Rin-ish. It's because we have similar outlooks. If you were to ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean? It's like... Okay, Rin paints and stuff, right? Yes. I'm not sure where this is going. Well, I run. And that's why we're so similar. You lost me. Emmy frowns, as if trying to figure out her answer. Well, maybe it's that we do things for the same reasons. Huh? You know, we follow our passions. So you're passionate about running and Rin's passionate about art, is that it? Well, sort of. Let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed. Not surprising. I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone. She says we both chase after an extreme. Like, she's always trying to find a new way to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because of the feeling I get from it. And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that. What do you mean, slow down by anything? Emmy looks surprised and points to her legs. You know, because I'm a runner, and Rin's a painter even without arms. So we respect each other's determination. And that's why we hang out. I think. Well, I'm not sure that made any sense to me, but from Emmy's sheepish expression, she's not sure about it either. Honestly, it's not something I think about much. We just get along. I think that's really all that matters. Honestly, it is. Don't worry about, why you're hanging out with someone, unless, like, they're hella sketchy, but what matters is that you're able to connect with the person and that you guys are friends, or you guys have that connection, you know? Unless they're sketchy, then you might want to start asking some questions. I suppose she's got a point there. Another question strikes me, and since I've got nothing better to do, I'll ask it. So, what do you get in... or... shit. So, what got you so into running anyway? So, I've been running since I was really little. My dad was a runner, and so as soon as I could walk, he started teaching me how to run. It was our father-daughter thing, you know? Our own mutual hobby. A shadow crosses her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Did something happen between them? Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I've got to get a few more laps in before I go see the nurse. She races off around the track, hair streaming in the wind. It seems to me she's going a lot faster than she was this morning. As she rounds the track, I catch a glimpse of her face. This face again. It's much the same as it was this morning, but her eyes seem to take on a harder edge. I guess she's right. I don't really know much about her. I watch her run for a little while, and then stand up and head back to my room. Hey! She spots me leaving and waves to catch my attention. Don't forget, same time tomorrow morning, got it? Got it. I head back to my room. Homework beckons. Oh boy. I can't sleep. My body's tired, but my mind is kept awake, staring at the ceiling in the hollow darkness of my room. I grasp desperately for a thread of thought, hoping that I can run my brain into the ground. All I can think of is how I can't think of anything. This is not productive at all. I wonder if this is a side effect of my medication, though it seems odd for it to take so long to show up. Then again, maybe I'm just not as used to my new surroundings as I'd like to think. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm awake, and I shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. Ignoring my body stiffness, I get out of bed and look at my clock. 4 in the morning? Jesus Christ! Last time I checked, it was only 1, so maybe I slept a little. I don't know. I throw on some clothes and head out of my room. A walk might do me some good. Alright, well, I guess we'll stop here, since we're not going to sleep. Second time's the worst. Oh shit, I wonder what that can mean. Well, I guess we'll figure that out next time. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Katawa Shoujo. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.